Hey, welcome to the seminar today or workshop. And just glad you're joining us. First of all, let me say my name is Larry McLean, founder of Your Family Bank. And basically, we want to talk to you about selling life insurance, right? So how would you like to be able to sell life insurance to 80% of America? The great thing about Your Family Bank is showing people how to get out of debt. We're going to go into detail on that in a few minutes, but be able to sell life insurance and helping people build wealth at the same time, paying off debt and building wealth. That's what Your Family Bank, we've been doing this for over 14 years. It's amazing what it's done. And we're going to go through this today and give you some information. Again, my name is Larry McLean, founder of Your Family Bank, along with Lawrence McLean, my son. Where we started is a Florida State game. We don't have anything to talk about in football this year. We're not doing good at all. Last year was amazing. This year is terrible. But sitting in a Florida State game, October afternoon, 80,000 people in the stands. I'm thinking, what if I could go out on that field and tell this, what I did? What kind of response would I get? And here's what I can tell you. Based upon that, I was selling annuities and money under management. That's what we did. And I could have walked out and said, ladies and gentlemen, we sell annuities. And I don't think we got a big response. We could have went out and said, well, we work with Charles Schwab. We do a great job with them. But again, I don't think I'd have got a great response. We could have went out and said, well, we sell life insurance. And that particular time in our practice, we didn't sell life insurance at all, except on my personal self. But it's not a great response. But what if I could have walked out there and asked two questions? Question number one, are you 100% sure you can have a great retirement, or do you have some doubt? I asked you the same question. What if we could show you how to get out of debt 9 years or less, including your mortgage, without spending any additional money than you're spending right now? Would you do that if you could to improve your cash flow? Well, I can tell you this, based upon statistics, 65,000 people would fall into those two categories in regards to Your Family Bank. So it's an offer that appeals to everybody. We're going to talk about what the perfect client is in a few minutes and the marketing programs and all that. But when I started my presentations. I made 100 presentations in my first 9 months when we started Your Family Bank. And let me say this. It was a you go then, it's a Bentley today. And you're going to see all the bells and whistles that we have with the program today. But I only wrote 30 cases out of 100. So if you think about that, that's 70 people said no. And that's not that great of close for sure. Well, something happened though right here that changed my life and changed my whole practice. And we've been helping agents for years now do the same thing. We got 14 referrals I never asked for. That's a 46% referral ratio. So I wrote 44 cases in my first 9 months, which is $700,000 in premium. And remember, I didn't write any life insurance at all. In my first year, we did $1.4 million in whole life premium of helping people get out of debt. Does not include any annuity sales, which those come for sure. All right, so what is Your Family Bank? Well, first of all, it's a concept that teaches financial literacy, 7 steps, paying off debt, increasing cash flow, reducing taxes, and increasing retirement savings. And here's the great thing about Your Family Bank, using a predictable plan and the word guarantees. We love to say it's guaranteed, and it is. So, our claim to fame, 9 of the 10 years, we've been the agency of the year for carriers. The top MGAs that use our system are the top in every one of their things. They're using the Your Family Bank system going forward. So 2016 through 23 for our YFB clients, we've saved them $562 million in interest that would have went to their lenders that actually went back in their pocket. And we are projected to increase their retirement by $3.4 billion more than they'll have retirement had they not sit down with YFB representative and did Your Family Bank for their family. So is it worth looking at for you? Well, we've done $8.6 billion in sales, so it works. And the reason I'm on this thing today is to get you to take a look at Your Family Bank and add it to what you're already doing. And I can tell you this is a life-changing event, not only for you, the agent, but for the people that you talk to each and every day. What is the goal? The goal is just to get you to add it to your practice. You're going to see an increase in production between 30 and 50%. If we look at finances and we think about this for a second, really finances is really absolutely in the middle of our life. I mean, if you think about this for a second, finances affects our family, our fun, financial future, our friends, fitness, and faith. Let's break it down a little bit. When finances are out of sorts, it causes problems with our family. It causes stress. Financial stress is one of the toughest financial stresses out there today because it never goes away. It causes divorce. It causes child abuse, spousal abuse, even suicide and murder. So when we look at finances and the situation that we're looking at in our family, it causes problems with our family. Number two, how about our fun? Yeah, it does there too, because guess what? We can't go on that family vacation, or maybe your kids play sports and they can't play sports this year because we can't have the monies to make that happen. So it causes problems with our fun. How about with our friends? We go out to eat or whatever the case may be, and are we going on that fishing trip or that hunting trip or that golfing outing, or our wives or their weekend off, or all the things that they do? Causes problems with our friends. And how about faith? Even with our faith situation, we get upset with God. Maybe we get bitter. Maybe we stop giving money to our church or whatever that case may be. It causes problems in our faith. And of course, a lot of times in our fitness, if you look at that for a second, in our fitness, maybe we're not buying whole foods anymore. Maybe we're not going to the gym anymore. Maybe we're eating, not as good. We start gaining weight and we get depressed. And then lastly, and most importantly too, is our financial future. People are not being able to retire today, and it's because they don't have a plan. And they have no money. But the reason they have no plan, no money is because of this big situation, which we call debt. Debt comes in the middle of this. And this causes situations, and that 80,000 people that we talk about in Florida State, 65,000 of them, but statistic would be in debt. 80% of America is in debt. You're probably in debt yourself. I mean, the number one person that we love to help is agents. Get them out of debt, right? And have them have a great retirement. So we look at debt and the interest it costs. And most people today, they just think that's just the way it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's not the way it has to be. I was $2.4 million personal debt myself because of the principles of Your Family Bank, totally debt-free today. And I can tell you this story over and over and over for our clients and for agents all across the country. The point today is that in any types of sales, doesn't matter what sales we're talking about, you've got to have a prospect to go talk to. And ladies and gentlemen, here's what I can tell you. Everybody just about that has a debt situation, not only on a personal basis, but even on a business basis. Most clients and prospects are in debt. So how big is our prospect pool? Well, if you look, the national debt right now is growing faster than the economy. You're looking at, is that to $35 trillion now in debt as far as the government goes. That means that every citizen in the United States owes $102,000. And if we break it down to a taxpayer, they owe $266,000 to get us out of debt. Total household debt, $17.69 trillion. This is our personal debt. We're only half as bad as the government, but it went up $184 billion last quarter, $640 billion increase from last year alone. And we're all living that today with inflation and the cost of goods and all the things that we're looking at today. It couldn't be a better time to talk to people about being debt free. The types of clients, people say, well, Larry, who do I talk to? Who are the people I go talk to? Well, guess what? 25 to 35-year-old people, they could be student loan situations. It could be buying their first house, business endeavors, things of that nature. Then you've got middle income America, which is probably the broader base from 40 to 60, paying off their mortgage, eliminating debt, retirement planning, college planning. At a 40-year-old, sometimes 42, 43, we're still looking at college debt that they still owe. And then from 60 to 75, 65% of all seniors today still have a mortgage and credit card debt that in retirement. So we need to pay off that mortgage. And of course, retirement for situations from 65 to 75 can lead to a lot of referrals too. When I first started Your Family Bank, a point of reference is that I had 19 couples come into my office, and I was just showing them what I thought I wanted to do. This is way before, this is back with the Yugo when we first started. Out of the 19 couples I brought in, 17 couples wanted to set an appointment, either for themselves or their kids, to get them out of debt. Right? So debt is a looming situation today. A lot of people talk about it. A lot of people, Dave Ramsey's situation, if in regards to that, we get that, but 9% of the people don't stay on the plan. Well, 80% of people do stay on Your Family Bank plan. Live interest-free every day. Give people life. This is what we're able to do. Give people life. I'm just telling you, I can't tell you how many people that I sit down with, either in a conference room or their home or my office, that when we show them where they can be, they actually cry. Tears of joy. And I'm just telling you, we give them hope. What do the experts say about money, debt, and interest? Well, Mark Cuban, a lot of things, I like the guy. Some things I don't like about the guy. But here's what I will tell you. The best investment, he says, you can make is paying off your credit card and every debt that you have. If you have a student loan with a 7% interest rate and you pay off the loan, you're now making 7%, which is an immediate return, which is a lot safer than trying to pick stocks or real estate or whatever the case may be. Warren Buffett, one of the most renowned investors of really history. If you look at Warren Buffett, a lady came into him and said that she had some money, she wanted to invest some money. It wasn't a lot of money to Warren, but it was a lot of money to her. And first thing he asked her, well, do you owe any credit cards? She said, yeah. She said, how much interest do you owe? 18%. And he said, lady, the best advice I can give you is pay off your credit card. I can't do 18% for you. And a lot of times we think that we're trying to, put money in retirement and we got this debt. We got more going out the back door than we got coming in the front door. We're driving our car down the road with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. And matter of fact, Warren said, she said, that's not what the lady wanted to hear. And, she says to Warren, she said, well, my daughter has some money. Where should I, tell her to, and where would you invest her money? He said, he kind of laughed and he said, well, I tell her to loan it to you because apparently you'll pay her 18%, which I can't do. Right. So it makes a huge difference. And we talk about being in debt, but we never had really a great way to get people debt free. And we do. 80% of America today is in debt. I'll give you a couple of clients. This particular, we work a lot with churches and a lot with organizations out there today. But this happens to be a pastor. He went to a CFP, Certified Financial Planner. He did a 42-page report. I have a copy of the report, and the advice that he gave to pastor was, quit giving to your church. You may want to file bankruptcy. And there's no way you can retire in 8 years, which that's where he wanted to retire in 8 years from this day. Now you can look at, he had a lot of debt. And for every dollar he was spending, 30.36% was going to interest. And he never gets that money back. He'll never make a dime on that money. And a lot of people don't understand what the true interest payment is and what they're actually paying. Well, his debt was $856,000. He was going to be in debt for 27.2 years. His real debt, $1.2 million. So the difference between that and what his current debt was $373,000 of interest that he was going to pay. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the problem. I mean, the big problem here, or the big villain here, is $373,000. That's the interest that we're giving up. And we all think, me included, that this is just the way life is going to be. It really doesn't have to be that way. We were able to take with Your Family Bank and doing what we do. We went from 27 years to 7.3. Interest saved was $198,000 of interest we saved, freed up $89.06 a month, and potentially have some savings in the 30-year. We use a 30-year benchmark. He'll have $4,195,000 combined savings and death benefit together, $4.5 million. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a life-changing event It was a life-changing event for him and his wife. They both seriously cried when we showed them where they can be. They went from a report of no hope to a place of hope, and this is what we're able to do. He was able to retire in 8 years like he wanted to, based upon the numbers, and he'd have over $100,000 in retirement. This is a single mom, business owner. 32.52% of her payments was going to their true interest payment. That's what it was going to, that she'd lose and never get back. What we're able to do for her, we got her out of, she had 2 kids, nothing for saved for college or anything. We got her out of debt from 28 years to 9.8 years, saved her $90,000 of interest, freed up $2,600 a month or $31,000 a year. Potential savings in 30 years, $1.3 million. Combined death benefit also almost $2 million. I mean, we're looking at a pastor, we're looking at a single mom, we're looking at people on everyday life. These are people that you know all out there. The average guy, the average number of people that you know personally is 300 people. And by the way, each one of those people that you know, the 300, they also know 300 people. But what a great way to show people how to, number one, get life insurance that they probably need for sure anyway, because 50% of America don't even have life insurance. Number one. But number two, while paying off debt, they're building wealth. And I'll show you how that works in just a second. So what makes us different? I think it's our process, right? Are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement? Do you have some doubt? What if I can show you how to get out of debt in 9 to 10 years or less, including your mortgage, without spending any money than you're spending right now? Those 2 questions work, and it opens up a conversation with people. I guarantee you that I've asked that thousands and thousands of times, and I always get the same answer. Yes, I have some doubt, and yes, I'd like to get out of debt in most cases. Now, some people, I understand that you'll run into some people that don't have debt, and that's okay. We can still show them how to use your family bank to buy future things down the road, right? Our process, number one, our approach is 2 questions. First appointment is show them the 7 steps and go through our program and show them and give you a step-by-step of what you need to do. Second appointment is get their numbers to them, show them exactly when they're going to be out of debt, and find the money for the premium that we do for them. So the software reporting, I'm going to bring that up real quick and kind of go over the software with you and show you a little bit how that works. I won't go through 100% of it because that's what our training is all about. But I do want to show you kind of what the high points of the software and how that works for you as we go through it. First of all, we have to look at, number one, we look at the report, right? Now, we're going to talk about, this is Mark and Joyce. We're going to talk about Mark and Joyce. This is a presentation you can make to anyone. First of all, you got 2 problems. Number one is a saver. The saver is a person that saves up money and gets to a point, they buy something, they go back down to zero. They save up again, buy something, go back down to zero. That's a saver. That's what we call lost opportunity cost, because guess what? Wherever that money came from, it was hopefully making interest, and now it's stopped. We never want to stop compounding interest. Then we have the spender. That's 80% of America. This is 80% of the people are charging mortgages, cars, credit cards, student loans, IRS, you name it. They're paying interest. And guess what? They charge it and they almost get it paid off. And guess what? They charge it again and again and again. And it's a never ending cycle. So that's the problem. One's paying cash and we think, well, that's great, but not really. And then the other one certainly is charging everything. So if we look at Mark and Joyce, Mark had $383,000. If you asked Mark how much he owed, he'd add up his money and he would tell you he owes $383,000. But his real debt is not $383,000. His real debt is $634,000. Now that's an aha moment for most people when they see that. That's $250,000, $250,000 of interest that he owes, and he's going to be in debt for 26.8 years. That's where he was at. No changes. That's where he was at. Well, if we move on a little bit here and show him what we're able to do, you look at $251,000 in interest for every dollar he was spending. Get this. Every dollar he was spending, 39.57%, almost 40% was going to interest. Now, I can tell you, most people don't know that, and they've never seen that. They've never been taught that. But when you show them 40% of their dollars is going to interest, number one, that's bad enough. But number two, it's gone forever. Number three, they'll never make a penny on that money. Okay, what if we could get him out of debt and what we said and show them exactly where they can be debt free? So we were able to do this with Mark. We put together the plan. And this is, you got to remember how banks work, because we talk about your family bank. We're not a bank down the street, but we're a concept of banking. Remember, you deposit money into the bank takes the money. And by the way, the bank now, because the Federal Reserve allows banks to loan that same dollar out 7 times. Now, we can't do that, but the banks are allowed to do that. But the profit is where the banks loan out the money. Because, matter of fact, they're paying you what, 1%, 2%, 3%, or even 4%. But guess what? They're loaning at 15, 12, 24, and 29. That's 68% profit that they're making on that same dollar. So what if we could be the bank? The bank strategy is to get you in debt and to keep you there. Our strategy is to get you out of debt, right? All right, so how do we work it? Your money is always in motion by giving every dollar 2 jobs. We're going to redirect inefficient dollars, and we're going to do it with a special design policy that's an overfunded whole life insurance policy, specially designed for doing exactly what we're doing, early cash benefit that we can start paying off debt sometimes in the first 90 days. And so if we look at that for a second, that's how we get there. And we'll compare that in just a second, okay? Job number 1 is death benefit. God forbid, if the person dies, we're gonna give them a tax-free check to pay off all their debt, right, for the family. Now, that's happened 6 times since I started Your Family Bank in the last 14 years, okay? Only 6, which is great, but all 6 of them didn't even have any life insurance at all, except for Your Family Bank, the policy that we put in place, because they didn't buy it for life insurance. They bought it to get out of debt. But guess what? They died early. And so also there's some critical care benefits in that too. But job number 2 is, guess what? Pay off debt. And so we want to pay off student loan, credit cards, car, mortgage, whatever debts that they have, we're going to use that to pay it off. We're snowballing debt, no difference than that. We're just using the policy to make that happen, to eliminate debt, and not only want to eliminate debt now, but in the future for other things that they're going to buy. Because guess what? Everybody's not going to get out of debt and be done, right? All right, so we're going to save the interest. We're going to free up that cash flow. We're going to get guaranteed interest on our money plus dividends on top of that. And it goes back into the policy. And so once we pay off that debt, it goes back in the policy. Next, we pay off that debt, it goes back in the policy. And we're building wealth at the same time. And I'll show you that in just a second. All right, so how does this approach stack up? Okay, could you do it yourself? Answer, yes. You could use IRA, 401k, mutual funds, stocks, or bank savings. But the problem with all 3 of those, in most cases, you're going to give up interest if you take that money off the board, if you will. With Your Family Bank, remember, inside, and this is something we're going to teach all of that, you may already know it, but you're not borrowing money out of your policy. It's coming from the insurance company. Your policy cash value is still earning interest for you, even though you have a loan sitting there. So you've got, you got to have accessibility, number 1. It's got to be penalty free. You got to have some guaranteed growth, risk-free, tax-favored, leverage, and death benefit. Guess what? IRA don't have it. Mutual funds don't have it. Bank savings don't have it. But Your Family Bank checks every one of those boxes. And so that's why we use what we use. And so let's look really at the policy, and we'll look at Mark and Joyce. Remember, they were going to be in debt for 26.8 years. We got them out of debt in 7.7. We saved them $114,000. We freed up $3,700 a month or $45,000 a year. Their potential savings in 30 years will be $1,477,000. If you look at that for tax-free retirement, that's probably in the top 2% of America. And with the death benefit, God forbid if they died, their family would get $1.7 million. So at the end of the day, great way to, number one, pay off debts as we go through, and we show them exactly when that debt's going to be paid off, and we're going to show them exactly how much interest we're saving them as we go through this. And so let's take it one more step. Let's take it, okay, they were going to be in debt for 26 years. We got them out of debt 9.7. Interest paid was 136 versus 251. And actually, the money they would have in their account, we always benchmark it at 30 years. But in this case, I'm showing you in 26.8 years, they would be out of debt doing the way they were doing. But with our program, they'll have $1.1 million of liquidity and 1.5 along with a death benefit. So it really shows a person, instead of being in debt for 27 years, to be it. So how does this work? We call it the YFB debt wave. We're going to reduce payments to minimums. We're going to pay off that first debt as soon as possible. We're going to, as soon as we retire that debt, that payment we were making on that debt goes back in the policy to pay off the next debt. And it just keeps, as we pay off debt, evaporates more interest, momentum builds to the biggest debt, which is usually the mortgage or the credit card debt, or excuse me, with their student loan debt. And we build the biggest one, which is a tsunami that gets them totally debt free. Now, this is what I want to show you. This is on the left side of this screen is them paying off their debts, doing what they're doing. On the right side is Your Family Bank way. Okay, so I'm going to go 12 months. Okay, and here's 12 months down the road. 12 months they paid off Visa and their dentist. But on the debt wave program, we paid off their medical, appliances, the dentist, Visa, and their furniture. But here's what I want you to see. On the right side, they've got $5,979 making interest for them in an account. On the left side, they have zero. Okay? They have zero, right? And so why? Because we're building wealth as we're paying off debt. We're taking liabilities and then turn them into assets. So let's go 24 months. 24 months down the road, we've paid off all their consumer debt except for their mortgage, right? They've paid off 5 debts. They still owe 2 more plus their mortgage. We've got, in this case, $13,203 earning interest for us in an account. They have nothing on their side of the column. Let's go to when we paid off the mortgage, and that's going to be probably about 114 months, I think, somewhere along there. 116 months, I think is where we're at. All right, so 116 months down the road, we paid off their mortgage. Everything's paid off. They still owe $260,000 on their mortgage, and we've got $79,271 earning interest for them. So here we are. We're totally debt-free on the right. They still owe the mortgage on the left. We've got $80,000 in an account. And if we go to the end, to when they were going to be out of debt themselves, and if you can see it working, we are totally out of debt. And look at their account value going up, and look at where they still owe $150,000, $140,000. But look, our account is growing, and they've got, at the end of the same time that they were going to be in debt, they're going to have $1.1 million in an account they can use for retirement or whatever they want to use it for. They make that choice. That's how it plays out on a monthly basis. But here's what I can tell you. When you show a client that exactly what they can do and where they'll be, Mr. Client, you can keep doing what you're doing, or you can do this. This makes a heck of a better way of doing it. So I'll start my policy. Basically, we found $755 a month is what we're able to do. We can, if we need cash, we can access that cash. If we become ill, we can ask it for the death benefit. And of course, if we die too soon, we've got the death benefit there also. So if you look at that, in reality, what's the benefits? Number one, improve your cash flow, establish an emergency fund, liquidity, use to control the money, earn interest while paying off debt, access to cash value without penalty, no loss of principal guaranteed, tax favored growth distribution, safe for market fluctuations, flexible premium, self-complete, and tax-free death benefit and self-financed purchase. So my point to you is that this is a great way to show people how to be debt-free and get into the point that, Here's where you are, Mark. You're going to be in debt for 26 years. You're going to pay you're going to pay all this interest. Instead, we're going to get you out of debt in 9.6 years. We're going to save you $114,000. We're going to free up $3,700 a month cash flow of $45,000 a year. And this is all based upon guarantees. And they're going to have $1.7 million in death benefit if they die. And if they need cash for retirement, they got $1.4 million in regards to that. So there's where you are today. That's what you want to do. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what I can tell you. Great way of showing people how to be debt-free, at the same time creating a huge benefit, legacy for their family, being debt-free, and create a great retirement for them. So my point to you today is that, listen, the best thing I can tell you to do is take a look at our program. There's some buttons to click here to set an appointment or to sign up for a boot camp. To do that with, and you certainly can do that. But one of the most important things I want to tell you is that give us a chance to look at what we're doing. We are changing lives every single day. I can tell you this, at the end of the day, our marketing program is for individuals, families, nonprofit, churches. I mean, we do a lot in churches, a lot in schools, businesses, financial education, the workplace. I mean, I just did an attorney firm just the other day. I mean, there's so many opportunities. When you're talking about what we talk about, people will talk to you. I mean, no, I'm not walking in and saying, hey, would you like to buy life insurance? Guess what? Ain't nobody signing up for that. By the way, selling annuities, and if I set up let's say I go and set up a expedition hall, and we go in there and we put a annuity table up, money under management table up, life insurance table up. My question is, how many people are going to be at those tables? In most cases, probably not very many people. But what if I had to get out of debt table? I can tell you the one that's going to have the biggest line. I can't tell you how many churches I walk with to help with pastors, and not only work with the pastors, but work with their staff, and then we're some of the biggest churches in America working with those today. So great way if you're hooked in the churches, super way. We got curriculum set up for that situation, all kinds of stuff in regards to that. Income potential for you really is up to you at the end of the day. The marketing program, new client software, we don't charge our clients any money whatsoever. We're paid through the insurance situation. If you find one person a month to help get out of debt, you're looking at average 40 grand. If you find two people, 80, three people, 120. If you do a business case, you're looking at over $150,000 a year. That's a great living to add to whatever you're already doing without changing a lot. It's just adding this to what you're doing going forward. So what's your next step? Come to a boot camp, life-changing 2-day event. Number one, we're going to dive into the 7-step process of Market Joys, tips on sales, marketing, get referrals, debt software training. Normal cost of that is $250. If you use that promo, Direct24, we take $100 off of that. It's virtual, so you don't have to come to here. Pre-COVID, everybody had to come. And by the way, I'm in St. Augustine, Florida, at World Golf Village, where our offices are here in Florida. But you don't have to come here. You can do it from your office or from your home. YFB training, attend the next boot. Clap the button to register or visit YFB Opportunity for more information. Here's what I can tell you. Joining YFB, is there a cost? And there is, because there is a cost for all the programs that we bring to the table. Normally it's $189 a month if you do it by the month. If you come to this boot camp, it's $149. Normally it's a $500 setup fee. It's a $300 setup fee. Annual subscription is required. What is that based upon? 12 months, and prices per individual user, right? Return on your investment, because if you're going to invest money, you got to know that you can get a return back. So we're going to help you say your first 3 cases out of the gate to help you get on board and learn it and get going. The average case base premium is $4,600. So with one sale, only one sale, you pay for the system for the whole year. Well, think about that for a second. That one sale could be on yourself, actually. It could be you. You can earn up to $1,500 educational reimbursements from MTL. There's some great incentives. Once you come to the training, membership begins that. 3 hours of software training after that, week number 2, and then each and every month we're gonna help you make your sales, and at the year end get you conference qualified to go to. This year is London for you and a partner, 5-star resort, and you can still qualify before the end of the year. So what makes us stand out? Number 1 is the selling system, not just software. We are still in the field. We do it every day. We have hundreds and thousands of agents that do it every single day. The training, case study and design, we keep it simple. It's still we're still in the field. Our marketing programs, lead programs, effective use of the software, and I think other systems like the component of success, which gives people hope. Most important thing, I can give you hope. This changed my life. I can't tell you how many we've got agents that make 7 figures, 6 figures, and 5 figures. Depends on how far you want to work and how many people you want to see. Live interest-free every day. Here's what I will tell you at the end of this, and let me close it up and say this. Number 1, pray about it. Talk to your spouse about it or your partner about it. But most importantly, you've got questions, you can contact us here directly at 904-940-9555, or you can email caleb@yourfamilybank.org, or visit your YFBOpportunity.com to learn more, or you can click that code right there, that QR code, and set an appointment to talk to us. So listen, it's worth your time. You've taken your time to watch this. Take another few minutes, talk to one of us, set an appointment, come to a boot camp. I can tell you it's a life-changing event. There are so many people that need you to talk to them. And you probably being one of those people to be debt-free yourself in regards to that. I was talking to an agent the other day, and he came on board with us, and he sent me he said, buddy, I'm $1.2 million in personal debt myself. I need some help. And guess what? We're able to help not only people out, our clients out here, prospective clients, but we're able to help you. And nothing's better than for us to be able to be debt-free ourselves. God bless you. Thank you for taking this time. I look forward to meeting you personally. Have a great day. Bye now.